What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis video. Alright guys, sorry for the lack of content today. It is the weekend. It is family day for me, so I am always spending time with my family. But we are here at nighttime now to put something down. And I want to talk about two things, two very important things. Number one, the implications of the brand new banner, what it means for the game going forward, and how this is inevitably the way power creep is going to work in this game. And then number two, I want to check out the brand new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer that just came out, which has a whole lot of goodies. And if you're anything like me, you are waiting for that game to drop like yesterday. So first off, let's talk about the banner and why it matters so much. So a lot of folks are going to be looking at this weapon and skipping it. And listen, I don't blame you, but there is a reason why this weapon sets a brand new precedence for new players as well as existing players. Now, this weapon is going to be a very big whale weapon in my opinion, and there's a reason behind it. Now, Stalwart Faith and both the Snowflake, we can kind of bundle them together in this case, okay? So let's talk about the first one, and that is Aerith's weapon. So let's go to it real quick and talk about this brand new Snowflake weapon. Now, we all know the 340% magic ice damage is not crazy, right? Really doesn't bring anything brand new to the game. We all know Sephiroth, for example, already has magic ice damage with a higher percentage, but she does allow you to also do potency of mid for magic defense down along with this, which is actually not bad considering it does last for 20 seconds. Now, if you keep going here, right, it does further the wailing abilities to high, which actually does matter quite a bit, especially because this is a magic attack and it can last for 26 seconds. Now, being able to do 540% at max tier with 30 seconds of reducing magic defense is nothing to scoff at. It's pretty damn good weapon, okay? But that's not what makes this weapon special, right? The boost magic attack is fairly high at 54. That's actually really good. And then the 36 for boost ice potency is also really good. Keeping in mind, this can actually get you to the top level of the magic attack almost on its own. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy to know. All you need is like a low magic attack R ability on another weapon with a high ice potency, and you're rolling, right? And same with ice potency. You look at this, at 36 points, you're already at level 6 almost. So you can push this even further to make your ice damage do even more. So this could be used as an amazing sub-weapon for someone like Sephiroth, or just in general a main weapon for Aerith. Now, let's talk a little bit about what makes this an even better weapon and is really, really going to help, especially a lot of whales, push the boundaries of what a rank 1 looks like in dungeon ranking. This brand new feature of all cure spells 1, remember this is just 1, right? Eventually we're probably going to see 2s and 3s down the line, changes the way the game can be played with a healer. And yes, it does matter. If you guys don't know, a lot of higher end whales are now running the dungeon rankings with no healers at all. We're talking about 0 fairy tale, 0 AoE healing. We're talking about full on DPS and just bum rushing everything out there. That's pretty significant, because when you look at a free to play player or somebody who is a smaller spender, that's an impossible task to do. This now sets the precedence that a full on DPS can in fact bring enough restoration to a whole team and run a full DPS team and stay alive. Like that's what this allows. Now, a couple things I want to point out. The cure spell target all is only for cure and cura spells. Okay, it does not count towards Asuna. It does not count towards like the fatigue or the fog removal or the poisona removal. None of that is part of this. That will probably be something that will be released in the future. But even at minus 40% restoration, to have an AoE heal is still pretty substantial for a lot of whales. Because again, if you're running no heals at all, and you're not running curas, and you're not running any of that stuff, just by able to have Aerith on your team as a full DPS now with a staff like this, with this ability here, is now allowing you to now push that envelope and damage as well, right? Especially if you have the proper substats. Just even throwing in a mini heal. So how does this help? Well, let's talk about something. First off, item usage. You can almost remove all item usage. That's pretty big. That's now raising the score for a lot of these players, right? Because a lot of these players are using items to supplement the lack of healing. Rightfully so. So this here is going to be something we should expect. I would imagine going forward, we're going to see an all Asuna one. We're probably going to see an all like a Fyra, a Blizzard one, a Thunder one. So making them AoE damage dealing moves rather than just regular damage dealing moves, right? Because right now we have like Blizzera, we have Thundera, etc., right? So those are single target damage dealing moves. Unless it's on a weapon, usually then it's AoE. But if it's now on a materia and materia can become AoE, that does bring a lot more to the table. It will reduce some damage, but to make mobs clearable faster in dungeons or dungeon ranking, it will make a difference. And we may eventually see the magic attack boost 2s, 3s, etc., which will further increase the potency of the materia that we created. And if you haven't seen the materia video I just made, check that out, because I think that will help you understand the materia system more, plus how you can apply it to something like this. So going forward, guys, I would imagine for power creep banners, we probably expect to see brand new things like this, which again isn't a really big deal for a lot of dolphins and free to play right now. But for whales, this is a huge thing. And believe it or not, like I know a lot of whales, and I've spoken to a few of them, and this is a big deal for a lot of them, right? So this is how we can expect power creep. Now, I can imagine only that eventually these spells, these 540% ice damage spells, will probably be increased as well. Another big increase I can imagine seeing also is dual casting spells. So a weapon with a fire and an ice, which is something that's not foreign to the brand new Rebirth game that's coming out, where materia can cast 2 different elements. So I would imagine by the time Rebirth comes out, we may eventually see something like that be introduced as well. So yeah, these weapons may be skippable right now, and I think they are for a lot of free-to-play especially. But for a lot of whales, I think this is something that's going to, again, up the ante on a lot of dungeon ranking events. So this does set a brand new precedence, in my opinion, on how power creep is going to work, how it's going to be handled, and what we should expect going forward from a lot of these brand new weapons, which will introduce new mechanics to help players make more of a DPS full-on team and allow you to survive just using a standard materia with a high stat stick on it, right? So let's go ahead and skip this, see what we get. Man, that looks so much more smooth on, like, look how smooth that looks. That's crazy. On Steam. So there you guys have it. So that's part 1 of the video. I want to talk about that now. Speaking of Rebirth, I do want to actually go ahead and check out the trailer. So bear with me here. I'm going to jump in, toss this your way. It is part of the Final Fantasy 7 page here. Oh, that's pretty loud, eh? Okay, hold on.
I'm feeling every single bullet.
Their ire manifests once more. Do not underestimate this foe.
Your foe?
Sephiroth.
What am I supposed to do? Their luck runs out, but mine doesn't? I'm the only one who gets a pass?
Sometimes, I don't even know who I am. I forget things everyone else remembers just fine. And know things I've got no right knowing.
Cloud, it's okay. You saved me before. Now it's my turn.
Is it you, or is it the pooch? I'm just messing with you. That there is our man.
When fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it. Are you ready to rumble?
Eric, is there anything I can do for you?
So real quick here, guys. If you guys don't know who these characters are, this I believe is the main villain in the jail in Corel, right? I think he runs things, so he's going to be the main guy regarding Barrett's whole new storyline. Well, not new storyline, the existing storyline, obviously, with Marlene's father. A couple different things to notice. Loveless obviously still exists here, and that plays a big part in Zack's life, because Loveless was what Genesis was obsessed with, right? It was the poem that Genesis was, and it actually plays a pretty big role, because I think it actually does talk about a little bit about Genova and everything else. So if I recall correctly, sorry guys, I might be off on that one. Obviously there's Zack, perfectly healthy, right? And you guys can see here also, right here, we see a glimpse of him getting shot, and we don't know what happens, but clearly he survives, right? This is Nanaki's, I believe, grandfather, which, you know, in Cosmo Canyon, the boss manifests. And it's interesting how they did the editing, because they make it look like it's Vincent because it's red, but it's actually not. We know Vincent here is currently asking the team who their enemy is, and clearly Cloud and the squad are surprised to see him and indicate Sephiroth. So these are pretty big things here. Also, if you don't know who this is right here. Hold on, let me go through here. This is Dio, right here, this muscular dude with the mustache. That's Dio. That's the owner of Gold Saucer. So we know we get to meet him, which is kind of cool. Look how buff this man is. Jesus, look at Cloud's arm. He's like, literally his arm is the size of Cloud's body. It's crazy. And then, of course, Kate Sith here. And then, of course, we have Sid, which is crazy because I don't think he was been introduced at all in any of the other trailers. This is the first time we get to hear his voice and the voice actor and a little bit of his actual character. And he looks incredible. And behind him is the tiny Bronco, which we obviously, I'm assuming he's going to break down again, and we're going to use it to go on shallow water and explore the world a little bit. So let's get back into the trailer. Sorry, I just want to cover this a little bit here.
I can do for you. I want to help. Look at me, Barrett. You think I want Marlene to see what her father's become?
Promise not to tell? When she wakes up, a scary man is gonna kill her.
I won't say that it was fate. I won't say that it was destiny. But if not, what could it be that drew you towards me? Could it be chance? Till the day that we meet again, where or when? I wish I could say, but believe, know that you'll find me, promises to keep, we won't ever meet.
Please, I'm begging you. Lend me your strength.
All right. Holy, that sent goosebumps up my spine. Literally, like I just got goosebumps last scene. Okay, so a couple things to note here. Let's go through where we stopped. So first off, Titan. Titan looks freaking amazing. So Titan is easily one of my favorite summons of all time in all the Final Fantasy franchise. Not only because the man is a brute and he looks incredible, but he just always exudes power to me. So Titan looks really, really cool here. I'm going to go ahead and lower the volume so we can kind of see the animation here, right? There you go. And then Phoenix, of course, plays a pretty big role in some of the newer Final Fantasies. Played a smaller role in Final Fantasy 7, but we do get to see a glimpse of Phoenix there. I wonder if the Revive plays part of that role. And then here's one of the Bahamut's. It looks like Neo Bahamut. I can't really tell if it's Neo or if it's... Yeah, I think it's Neo. I don't think it's regular because I think we get to fight one. Now, this is Marlene's dad. So I think his name is Dyne, D-Y-N-E. I think that's how you say it. If I recall, it's been so long since I played Final Fantasy 7, and it's really crazy to see the anger in his voice because when you play the original game, it's not pixelated this way, right? It's like 3D little blocks, and seeing his anger here really comes through how embarrassed he is to feel and look the way he looks. So this here is crazy. So you can see Cloud here kind of sitting down in a wheelchair, and this looks like Marlene telling Zack that when she wakes up, she being Aerith, I imagine, a scary man is going to kill her. So I think Marlene has the ability of a Cetra. I think they've kind of talked about this in the past, and that right there is, I think, going to this scene right here, where you see the Forbidden City, where Aerith is praying and Cloud walks in, and look at this. You get to see the feathers. There's the feathers. So I wonder if Aerith, no matter what timeline she's in, suffers the same fate. I wonder if she still dies. And it's so important that she does because I feel like that played such an integral role in the destruction of the meteor and in them winning the battle in the live stream being part of the final fight, right? So against Sephiroth. So I almost feel like this needs to happen. I feel like she needs to die no matter what. And this indication here of the feathers could either be from the past or it could be from the existing movie. Now, one thing I will say I hate, I'm going to be honest with you guys here, okay? This whole play, and I hate that they do this because they're really pushing Aerith to be this beautiful maiden. And she, I mean, realistically, let's be real, she is. And it's funny because I believe the Japanese people think she's ugly. There was like a poll or something about Aerith being ugly or something. One thing I hate, and I think this takes away a lot from Tifa, is the love that Aerith and Cloud have for one another. Like, they show all these intimate moments between the two of them. Here, there's a play, obviously, with Barrett being a villain, and Nanaki being a villain, and here's Vincent, you know, being confronted by them. This is the fight in Cosmo Canyon. So, but all of this, you get to see Sephiroth here. Like, all of these little scenes with Aerith and Cloud, I think diminish the relationship that Tifa and Cloud ultimately have. And I think that really sucks for our girl Tifa, because I'm a big Tifa fan, and I hate knowing that, you know, she's kind of put on the back burner since Aerith is alive. And I feel like when Aerith dies, Cloud... See, this is the real relationship, in my opinion. This should have always been the... And now that he's alive... And this is the scene I believe that Marlene is talking about when she wakes up, because she's clearly asleep and Zack is still awake. So she doesn't know Zack is alive yet, I imagine. I think this relationship is the one that should have been pushed a little more, even in death, than in life. But overall, guys, this trailer looks absolutely incredible. I am floored at how excited this makes me. Seriously, I thought for sure the last trailer was enough to push this, just pushed it beyond. And it's on 2 discs, February 29th, 2024. I am ecstatic, guys. This is going to be one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. Alright, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.